Assalamu alaikum everyone. Yvonne here from My Halal Kitchen. I am here in Dubai, United Arab Emirates at the Gulf Food Show. As many of you who are watching my Instagram or Facebook page, you know you've probably seen pictures of food and things that really enjoying. But I have a special guest today. I am here interviewing for you the owner of Deli Halal Meats, Chris Barnett. Say hi, Chris.
Hello.
And Jalat Al-Absy of Halal Transactions of Omaha. We are going to, just give me a second while I adjust the camera. There we go. Now we can get all of us in. Can you scooch over just a little bit?
Sure.
Okay. So I thought it would be a really great idea to answer some of your questions. So many of you know all the recipes that I've been putting on lately. A lot of the recipes I've been talking about in new products. I've been doing some sandwiches with Deli Halal Meats, and we've gotten so many great questions from all of you about the meats and about the flavors, where you guys can find the products, and it's such an interesting product to me for so many reasons that I wanted to answer some questions, or I have the opportunity for all of you guys to ask some questions of the owner, and also their certifier, Halal Transactions of Omaha, because you guys have really great questions on Twitter and Instagram, and the reason that I find this whole thing fascinating is because as an American Muslim who wasn't always raised eating halal, to find products that I normally, I grew up with, but as I became Muslim didn't find in the stores as, with great quality or being halal. When I found this product, Deli Halal, well, you actually found me. Before I found Deli Halal, they found me, but great surprise because growing up making sandwiches with just things that we don't think about, like roast beef and turkey breasts. And when I became Muslim, I couldn't find these things. I couldn't, just be an ordinary person making sandwiches or making the deli trays that, I typically had growing up. And so for the longest time, I didn't really buy any. And then when I found out about Deli Halal, I was super surprised because it wasn't just the fact that there are deli meats, but they are fabulous and they're very tasty. So if you've gone to my website and you've seen some of the sandwiches I made, it doesn't sound like a big deal to some people who maybe are used to having these products, but the quality is there, the taste is amazing. And Chris, I have to tell you, before we get into his story, I just want to tell you that my favorite one is the turkey breast. They're all very good, but it doesn't taste to me like a deli meat. It tastes to me like you're literally, having a roasted turkey that you sliced out. Leftovers, yeah, like
in the
Thanksgiving
fridge.
Leftovers.
Make a sandwich.
Yeah, and they don't taste like they're processed or anything like that. So
that's the goal.
That's the goal, right? And so that quality is kind of hard to communicate unless you've actually been able to try it. So I'm urging you guys to do that. But let's go back to, just sort of talking about the origins and how they started this company, because I think it's really interesting that you started this company creating halal products, and you're not Muslim. And not that that's a problem at all. It's just very interesting to us that you are interested in a halal meat product, and you're very passionate about it, which I think is every time I talk to you, just really interested in spreading the awareness about halal, and you really believe in it, and that's exactly where we are too. So tell us a little bit about how you started and your why did you feel like this was something you wanted to create? 'Cause it takes so much work to create something so good and then also to bring it to market.
Well, there was actually Deli Halal was originally conceived and developed about 7 years ago, from a consumer demand for a more transparent and sustainable halal food product that's made in the USA.
How did you know there was so much consumer demand? Did you just felt it? You just knew it? How did you know?
We originally developed Deli Halal for an export product to the Middle East, and realized we had consumers reaching out to us and saw what other products are coming out of the States firsthand. We knew what was available, so there really just wasn't anything like what our products are and what we've developed. And
I can attest to that, because there really isn't. I mean, they're really They taste like, really great meats, and they don't taste like your average deli product. They don't look like it either.
On the U.S. side, we wanted to produce a quality product that honestly we could be proud of, a quality halal certified product that we could be proud of. So as we're exporting to the Middle East and GCC countries, we developed this product. Now, we don't work just as a Christian-based company. We have Jalat Al-Absy with HTO, who certifies all of our processes, raw materials, and every way we handle the product to make sure that we are adhering to the high standards of halal food production.
Which brings me to the question of, so whenever someone's developing any type of halal product, it's really important to have a certifier that they can trust and has the transparency and knows what they're doing and has all the Islamic scholars to back up, all of their processes and so on. So how did you two find each other? How did you choose to work together? I mean, what was that like? I find that very interesting.
Yeah, well, one of the Deli Halal founders, Scott, and I have known each other for quite some time, and our president, Dr. Al-Absy, and Scott have had a client certifier relationship for many years. Scott approached us several years back with this idea of doing this dedicated halal deli product for both the Muslim market and also for trying to capture a non-Muslim consumer demographic. And we've known Deli Halal for a long time. We inspect their processes. We've verified that they're halal compliant, and we're certainly on board with trying to propagate the idea of halal for a broader audience.
I think that's a really important point. What he just said is that halal is not just for the Muslims. It's there's that transparency there. There's that care of what goes into the animals, which ends up going into us. So that brings me into the question, because I talk with a lot of people who they're not just Muslims, but anyone interested in the quality of the food that they're eating, their health. As we know, the health of the animal is transferred to us when we eat them, and so the question I always have when I'm working with or just buying any food is what are the animals eating? Mm-hmm. And that feed question is very important.
Yes.
So do you, as a certifier, check the feed, and how do you ensure that the feed is also halal and appropriate for those, biologically appropriate for the animal?
That's a great question. So as a halal certifier, we have to be looking at every aspect of processing and production from the raw materials, through to the different stages of processing and on to the end user. And as you said, one of those important aspects is the feed, what's going into the animal. And that's important both from a halal standpoint and also a tayyib standpoint, wholesomeness.
Tayyib means like pure.
Exactly. So whenever we audit our clients, they undergo an intense audit, and one of the aspects we check is the feed. So our auditors, they examine the feed formulations that are going into the animals at the different stages of development, and we make sure nothing, no haram or questionable components are present in the feed. Now, halal feed components, halal and tayyib go hand in hand, and so there is